Welcome to Live from Mars. My name is Alex. You may know me as Mars from TikTok, Instagram, Substack, wherever you have found me, welcome. And today is our first episode back in a little bit, but I am back with a new series that is making a return actually from last year. We're going to go through the top albums of 2025 as chosen by yours truly. I did this last year with my top 5 albums of 2024, and this year we're going to tackle it with the top 3. So that way we can really narrow in on these 3, quality over quantity. And also there were not as many albums that I was absolutely die-hard obsessed with this year, which made it a little bit easier to pick 3 instead of 5. Transparently, last year, 2 of the releases were from Sabrina Carpenter with Short and Sweet and Taylor Swift with the Tortured Poets Department. I liked both of those albums that they put out last year, then both of the albums that the 2 of them put out this year. And I wanted to bring on some special guests to help me go through these top 3 picks. So today we're going to be visited by a very, very special guest who's making his first time on the pod. Troy HTHAZE. You may know him from his incredible reaction content up online. I've been a huge fan of his since I started creating content online. He is a huge inspiration to me, and we've gotten to know each other over the last few months. So I knew when it came time to do this series again, I had to get him on the pod. And today's episode is going to center around Olivia Dean's The Art of Loving. Now, if you've been following for a while, you know that I am absolutely obsessed with Olivia Dean and her music. I first came across her song Danger 3 years ago in December of 2022 and have been hooked since. And I've been telling you all, if you've been listening to the pod or watching my TikTok and Instagram content for years now, that she is going to become the biggest artist on the planet, and she is very well on her way to do so. Man I Need is continuing to dominate on the charts. You're seeing success with So Easy to Fall in Love, the more recent single. The entire album is being streamed incredibly well. Olivia is a Best New Artist nominee, and this album is the album that I am listening to on repeat over the last few weeks, and especially right now in this moment. And I can't think of a better album to pair Troy with than this one. So we're going to welcome Troy to Mars in just a few moments, but before then, a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, if you are not already subscribed to the podcast or subscribed to the YouTube channel, please make sure you do so. It means the absolute world to me. If you're enjoying content just like this, there's plenty more where that came from. If you're already subscribed to the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you gave it a review or rating up on Spotify or Apple Music, wherever you're taking these podcasts in. That is your choice. And in case you're not already joining the party over on Substack, this is your sign to do so. Substack, in case you're not familiar, is basically like Twitter meets an email newsletter meets a blog. You can join as both a free subscriber and a paid subscriber. The free side gets you one weekly newsletter that comes out every Friday called Now Spinning, where I go through the best of each week's New Music Friday releases. In addition to that, you get access to our Discord called Life on Mars. But if you are a paid member for $5 a month, you get access to the following. You get another weekly newsletter called Pop Pulse that drops every Tuesday and is centered around the biggest music industry news stories you need to know, and includes an outlook as to who's releasing music this week and in the weeks to come. You get access to my completely unfiltered, unedited album and song and music video reactions. Any kind of full-length reaction content is exclusively on Substack. You can't find it anywhere else. You also get access to full-length written album reviews and so much more where this all came from, especially as we head into 2026. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve that you're going to be very excited about. But that is Substack. You can find it at vinylbymars.substack.com. But enough of all that. Let's get into the meat of today's conversation. I'm so excited to welcome Troy, so let's do that. Troy, welcome to Live from Mars. I'm so unbelievably excited to have you here.
Thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate you. You've been cooking on Instagram. I see you popping up on my reels all the time.
I'm trying. I've been a huge fan of yours for so long now, and I know we've gotten to become friends over the last few weeks and months, so I'm really grateful that you're on. Been wanting to have you on for a while, and I can't think of a better way to have you on for the first time than to talk about one of my personal favorite albums of 2025. I hope it's one of yours, Olivia Dean's The Art of Love.
Oh, yes, baby. Olivia Deanie Weenie has came through this year, dude. Oh my goodness.
I love that you call her that.
Dude, it just rolls off the tongue. I mean, she was opening for Sabrina, and at least on my channel, Sabrina has always been and will always continue to be Sabrina Weenie Carpentini. So that's like just right there. She was opening for her, so she's right there. Olivia Deanie Weenie.
The Eenie family? Yeah, 100%. I love that. Well, in case that you listening are not already familiar with Troy HTHAZE, the incredible brand that he's built, I want to give you a chance to intro yourself, tell everyone a little bit about you, how you've got started with content creation and music reactions and what that road
Sure.
like.
Well, I am 21 years old. I was,
according to Spotify Wrapped.
Who's to say? You know, in my heart, I'll always be a little closer to my 20s, I feel like. But no, we started off, you know, kind of doing a lot of stuff with covers on YouTube. I've been on YouTube for, I think we're going on year 12 or 13 right now, something like that. I started in college just doing covers of pop songs, pop radio songs, and, you know, putting my own instrumentals to it and singing over top of it and kind of just making it my own. Kind of got me into making more videos of me being on camera, and eventually this fancy cool thing called reaction videos, you know, came into the story, and I kind of fell in love with the format, and I got to talk about music. I got to play a little music at the same time. I got to, you know, just create a community of people who love listening and jamming out the way that I do. So I'm here however many years later, thankful as hell. #1 music creator on Patreon, so that's kind of lit. And
that's incredible.
Yeah, man, I'm really happy. I'm really excited to be in a position where I can actually, like, I don't know, move people in a way. So it's fun.
No, totally. And like, we're filming this on Spotify Wrap Day, and today of all days is like such a reminder for me of the impact that everyone has when they share their music tastes online. And most people do it just this one day of the year to share with their friends and family, whoever is watching on Instagram or TikTok, what their music taste is like. But for the position that I'm in, the position that you're in, and other fellow content creators, like, the best reward that I can get is someone coming to me and say, like, hey, I found this artist because you talked about them, and now they're #1 on my Spotify Wrapped, and getting tagged in them. And like, that's what makes this all so worthwhile. All the stress and the anxiety around it, that's the reward.
Real. So real, man. I mean, I'm getting a few of those comments right now too, just with all the Apple Music Wraps too. I feel like Spotify betrays me every year. I don't know. I feel like because this is like my job, the numbers get a little skewed, you know?
I use stats.fm also, and according to them in 2025, my #1 artist is Miss Olivia Dean. To Spotify, it was Lady Gaga. So they actually flipped, I think, like #1 and #4, depending on which data source I'm using, which I don't really understand how that's possible. I also was disappointed with my numbers this year because it's down compared to last year, but I was thinking about it, and a friend and I were talking, and she was like, well, you're not listening to music while you're editing content, because like, you need to hear the audio of what you're working on. And I'm like, true. That's a huge difference between this year and last.
Yeah. So, music as a time filler, for sure. Yeah, dude. I mean, I just know I used to listen to so much more music when I was like commuting to a job in Atlanta, and like podcast, you know. I really only listen to one podcast. I listen to Switched on Pop, and that's like pretty much it. But
I live for them.
Yeah, you like them too?
I love that. Yeah, I've been listening since, I want to say, like 2016, I think.Maybe almost a decade now.
Okay. I picked it up like maybe 3 years ago, so like kind of late to the game. But yeah, man, I'm just I'm a slut for Nate Sloan, dude. I don't know, something about him.
I know.
They're
here
great.
For him.
And
Charli.
Anything he talks about, I'm like, bro, you're right. Whatever.
Yeah. So I want to talk about Olivia and The Art of Loving. I'm curious to know, before we dive into the album itself, what was your first impression of Olivia Deanie Weenie? How did you first come across her music? What was like that first listen experience? Was it for this album? Had it been in the past, before The Art of Loving dropped? What was that like for you?
So I gotta give the shout out to my assistant Leah. She is from the UK. And she was the first one to put me on to Olivia Dean. It was probably the first year that I actually like started employing her, I would say full time or maybe part time potentially. She was kind of just like slowly, like I could tell she was like trying, like she has my DMs, she has like access to the accounts and whatnot. So I understand her being like a little, let me not come full force. But she's kind of been like drip feeding me Olivia Dean over the last few years. So we listened eventually to Messy because Dive was huge. I was like, wow, Dive is incredible. Love that. Got a great vocal tone. And the instrumentation was kind of like up my alley of like groovy, R&B, contemporary, kind of like good feeling stuff. And then the rest of the album was, ironically, kind of everywhere, kind of messy in its own way. Yeah. And it didn't leave like a crazy impression on me at first. I probably came back to like a couple of songs off that record, maybe like Danger, if you remember that one. But
that was my first. That was the way I found it.
Oh, yeah? Shit. No way.
So it was 3 years ago. It was December 2022. I think I was listening to Discover Weekly or something, and I heard Danger come on, and I'm like, holy shit, stopped in my tracks. What is this song? Who is this vocalist? Where has this song been? And I immediately knew in that moment she was going to become the biggest artist on the planet. It just was going to be a matter of time.
Really?
Like, there was just something about it that she is like the one person that I have, through doing all of this music content creation, the one artist that I have said like very faithfully from the beginning is going to make it. So this year has been like the biggest dream come true for me, watching it for her.
Wow.
But Danger was the song that was my first to listen.
You and Leah would probably get along really, really well because she loves Olivia Dean.
Sure.
As soon as I like kind of bit, like I was like, all right, sure, I'm gonna go for it. She was like, okay, but now you got to know all these like. I was like, okay, cool.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Album was good. Another one that I really liked was The Hardest Part. The Hardest Part was phenomenal. Yep. But I'll be honest, man, she blew me away with this album. The Art of Loving is like an art piece in itself. Like it just, like there's something about the way that the album was track listed and like created. It just feels so damn personal. Like it feels so human at every point. Starting with the vocal intro, the slight little short one, right? Like just a couple seconds to just get you into it. And then you go, boom,
get you in the
singles. World. And it's like singles up front too, like is like something that I've kind of grown to like expect. So the fact that they're a little, it was like, we got one at the beginning, but also like there was a midpoint in there. It like sectioned the album to me visually kind of really well. And then as we start listening, it's like, dude, obviously I was already a fan of like Nice to Each Other. I think those chords are so cool. But then Lady was like, whoa, she's going introspective. She's tapped into this like songwriting aspect that it feels like she's like uncovered in herself with this album. Like Messy felt good. It felt personal, but it still felt a little arm's length to me. This album is like, she's letting us in. She's letting us like see exactly how this shit went down in her heart, on her paper. So it is my number 2 album of the year right now. It's my numero.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's number 1?
Haley Williams record. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I did not know, but that like when I reached out to you to do this, I saw your reaction. I loved watching it because again, like same feeling I got from Switched on Pop. You're picking up on the things that I was picking up on myself, and just how animated and excited you get by it. And I'm like, I just want to have him on to talk about this because I want to talk to someone who's as passionate about it as I am. I did not know that it's your number 2.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Dude, it crept up, bro. And it was probably some of the live performances too, where I was like,
I'm glad
she's like she's feeling it. Like Wardrobe, incredible. Band on stage, moving and grooving with her.
So good. So good.
So good. So fun. So fun. So, it's just incredibly attractive to find somebody like an artist who literally is like smiling through their lyrics on stage performing them. Granted, maybe
it's
not every single song because some of the stuff is emotional and sad, but like, dude, she's got the performance factor down now too, and it's like it's just she's proven.
You're hitting on something.
Yeah.
For me, it was Danger, and then Messy came out I think in June of 23 or something, and I liked it a lot. It wasn't necessarily a perfect album, like you said, but there were songs on it that I really latched onto because of the live performances that you mentioned. And that to me is what sells her more than anything. I would argue she's better live than she is on the studio versions because of just how insanely talented her voice is, but also how charismatic she is and smiling and like genuinely having this passion exude out from her watching her on stage. And it was from Danger before Messy even came out. It was a Record Store Day exclusive vinyl of her live at the Jazz Cafe performance. And I cannot stop listening to it.
I haven't heard it,
still,
but I can just imagine. Later. Yeah.
I literally have here, this is live at the event in Apollo.
And wow.
Her live performances I listen to more. Yeah, she's up here.
I just clocked that.
And,
okay.
Yeah. And the live performances are what sell it. And I've seen her now 3 times live. I saw her play to maybe a few thousand at Brooklyn Paramount in July.
Wow.
And then I saw her to maybe 150 people at Rough Trade in Manhattan. And I like knew in that moment at Brooklyn Paramount and Rough Trade, like these are the smallest rooms she's probably ever going to be in again.
Yeah.
And then I saw her open for Sabrina, and watching her open for Sabrina Carpenter at MSG was a truly like chill inducing experience, because I have never in my life seen the entire arena full for an opening act. She wasn't even the main performer, obviously. She was the opener. And there was one song, I forget what it was, where everyone turned their flashlights on. You could see every seat was filled, and I've never seen something like that in my life. And I've been to a lot of concerts. It was mesmerizing.
I mean, that's dope. That's dope. The fact that like an opener like her, like you said, can get people in those seats active and moving and about the opener, just kind of cements like the star factor for me. It's like, oh no, she's got it. She's there.
Exactly.
She's right there.
Totally.
So yeah. So have you got your tickets to her tour, her solo tour?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Somehow I got blessed by the Ticketmaster gods and have ninth row on the floor.
So lucky.
I don't know how it happened. Are you going in Atlanta?
I was so late. I didn't get shit, dude. I need to go and look again to see if there's like maybe something I could buy.
Is going through the insane year that she's had. And because this age of star has traditionally, like what we've been seeing, has a little bit more time before they have their big breakthrough moment. I'm thinking of Sabrina. I'm thinking of Chapel. I'm thinking of Charli from last year. I'm thinking of Olivia this year. What through line do you see, and what that momentum has been like going from pre-Messy to when you were first exposed with Messy, the album, how that then led into the release of, you know, Nice to Each Other as a single, Man I Need, and that Man I Need really just blew everything up from there. But when you look at that line of evolution, what speaks to you the most? What comes through?
For Olivia, man, because I feel like at the end of this album, it's gotten such a like wonderful response. What I would want next from Olivia is a Christmas album. But that's just me personally. I know it's early, it's late, or, you know, whatever. It's not the right time.
I just posted a video about that.
Yeah, really? But in terms of like big project, I feel like she was very reflective in this album. Like it's a very reflective nature about past relationships, you know, why you fell out, what steps you're taking, but the steps maybe haven't been taken yet. So maybe for this next album, for this next kind of like move for her, I can see her like exploring, you know, a more excitable, higher tempo, potentially, you know, instrumental feel her kind of like maybe taking a little bit more risks again, you know, in the lyrical department. That would be kind of cool to see. I mean, honestly, I'm going to kind of get to soak it up either way.
Yeah.
I've always said this, and I'll always continue to say, the best thing for artists to do is to take time to write your story. Because it's your life, man. You know, turning these albums around a year, like, yeah, someone can love writing. You can be passionate about that. Like, that's awesome. Write your songs. But to create an album like this, like
very rarely is it worth it.
This album has, it's just heavier. It just feels like it's a full bag to unload. So I feel like maintaining that album, becoming like an album artist nowadays, I feel like feels really rare. But this one gives me hope, dude. Like she could be on her way to being like a true like storytelling persona for a really, really great, like just a really great sound. So I'm all in for it.
Yeah,
I'm all
completely agree with you. When I was looking back on my initial thoughts on the album and where my head was at, I was completely blown away by the cohesion of it, the storytelling, the concept of art, of love in all of its different shapes and forms, coming out of a very intense relationship, dealing with the breakup, but also the love that she's felt from watching friends fall in love, or her family members, or her grandparents. She has a whole song, the closer on Messy is called Carmen. It's about her grandmother and how she came to the UK, and it's about her grandmother's story, and it's gorgeous. And I remember leaving the album thinking that if there were little ways to change for the next time, I would love to see a little bit more up-tempo movement, because though the energy that is coming out of Man I Need is so unbelievably undeniable that I just need more of it. And it's not that the rest of the album didn't necessarily scratch that same itch, but like listening to Messy, my favorite song on that project is Ladies Room. And because of the live versions of Ladies Room, that is what completely sent it for me. And like having the live affection of the horns going off and a saxophonist going for a full solo or an electric guitar, the way in Ladies Room, whenever she performs it live, she gives the band a whole solo segment. And it is so electrifying. And I want that feeling on the actual studio recording. Vocally also, I think what she really dialed in with this one was really focusing on her like comfort range and staying very much within it, are very few moments where she's going for a big belt or like a really challenging note to hit. It's way more centered in like her strong suit area. And I would love to see her challenge that and continue to evolve as a vocalist.
I think that's so true too. I think that she does definitely keep this album a lot lower and like closer to the chest. I mean, emotionally, that kind of fits for it too, you know? But yeah, dude, absolutely. I would love, I think we're on the same page with the upbeatness. We just want to groove, man. Like you said, Man I Need is like kind of, it's there, right? You got a little motion, just like turn it up a notch, right? You know? Throw me some bongos, you know? Throw me a little samba or some shit. Like she can do it.
Right, exactly. She can totally pull it off.
And yeah, you reminded me of a point that I love making about Olivia Dean is that she's not just like the singer in front of the band, you know? She's like properly part of the band. Like even when she like holds her little banana shaker, right? And a little shaker in there. It's like she's like it's not that it's so just a shaker. It's that she's participating in the groove. Like she's, as you know, as singers in pop can kind of be, you know, they can be a little bit more of that like show person or that show girl where you can kind of step out in front and take the center spotlight. And like, that's cool. You can do that for a moment. Sure. And I'm sure she does it too, you know, where the band kind of lets her have that. Like, man, it is electrifying to see a singer that not only has a super soulful, incredible, smooth voice, but also like you can like get down, you know? Like somebody throw her like an instrument.
Yeah,
you know? I'm trying to see like a Olivia Dean ukulele or like a mandolin or some shit. You know, like something.
Oh my god,
something in there.
Totally.
You know, the shakers are cool, but like you know, they should make her like part of that like one man band.
Get her legit
drummers on your back and like the little hi hats going up and down with your toe and your foot, and you know you have like a guitar on one arm and like a little bass on the other. That's the next. You know what? Actually,
worth the $500.
That's my next direction for Olivia Dean. Is I want to see Olivia Dean do a whole one-woman band busking tour.
That would be epic. The art of performing.
The art of busking.
I love that. The art of busting. Okay, so looking at this track list, there are 12 songs on this one. Very simply, best, worst, fave. I want to know what you think the best song on The Art of Loving is, your take on the worst, and your personal favorite.
I can already tell you off the top.
Yeah.
Like faves. Fave off the album is Let Alone the One You Love. That song is just emotionally diabolical. Incredible.
Something she shows off on Let Alone the One You Love is a common trend that I pulled from this one. She does it on Close Up. She does it on Man I Need. I think there are even a few others.
She
loves a good hum. Olivia Dean loves a hum. And it's such a consistent through line on the project to the point that it's a joke between my friends and I now about how much Olivia Dean loves a hum. And I just think that it's such an integral part of this album that it like makes up the backbone of like, you can listen to any song on this album, there's a hum.
Really?
It can be subtle, it can be quick, it can make up the entire post-chorus and lead you to the outro. Depends on the song, but there's always a hum.
I'm going through the songs in my brain right now, and it's like,
in a way.
You know what? Holy shit, there actually are. Wait, what?
There's something that feels strategic about it, because when you're thinking of, and I don't get the vibe that this is something that was top of mind for her, because she just comes across as such like an authentic and purist, like when it comes to creating music. But there's something strategic about it where if you're literally humming the melody of your song in the song itself, that's such a hook right there. That's going to keep it in somebody's head. They don't have to worry about the lyrics. All they have to do is hum along to the melody, and you know the outro of Man I Need, and you know Let Alone the One You Love. And it's something that feels cozy because it's so personal. Like there's something powerful in her not needing to say any words, but getting across the emotion from that melodic choice.
Wow.
But it's also strategic and psychological to keep it in your head.
That's so true, man. Wow, that's an incredible point. Yeah, I'm like going through right now, and I'm like, yeah, there is a lot of humming in there. Because when I think of humming, I think of it's a vibration. Like that's I mean, that's all what music is, anyways, is vibrating air, you know, molecules. But it's like the art of humming. The art of humming is kind of
literally
like in itself kind of protective, because it's not the lyrics, right? Like it's the melody, but it's not the lyrics. So you kind of get a little taste of it, and it is something that everybody can do. Not everybody can whistle, but everybody can hum. Not everybody can, you know,
I can't
write
whistle
lyrics or
I
do
cannot
stuff like
whistle.
that. You can or you can't.
I wish I could. I cannot.
See, me too. Okay, but for real though, like let me
I can't do it.
Bro, right there. We can't whistle. My dad is like a crazy good whistler, and I've always been super jealous. But okay, so back to the game though.
Yeah,
Let Alone the One is my personal favorite.
All right.
The best song.
It's so hard. I'm torn between two.
I don't know if I can do this. This is actually so difficult.
I know. It's hard.
I think best song for me personally, not my favorite, but the best song, it's got to be A Couple Minutes.
Ooh. If I had a button to drop a bomb sound, oh my God, I'm going off right now.
Editor, hit it.
Oh, it's so good. Literally. The other is me,
minutes,
and I don't have access to that, so fire me.
Yeah. A couple minutes changed my brain chemistry. Like, there's a moment in there
that song
where the filter comes out and you get that interpersonal communication between herself before she goes back into this relationship that's like attractive but toxic, far but close. It really wraps up the album, like kind of in like an incredible way, because it's her saying and her knowing that you could entertain this idea of going back to somebody, but you know that you're past the point. You've healed, you've matured, you've grown. It's time to move on. It's only a couple of minutes. Yeah, that's just so good.
It's so subtly done. And there's something so powerful also about having that backing harmony, the backing male vocalist in the chorus to help literally balance it out tonally, but also to provide that other perspective that she's coming to the table with. Yeah. And this is one of those songs that you hear the first opening note and you hear her sing Turn Around and you just transcend. You're like lifted up in the air, being like abducted by a UFO, just levitating up into the sky.
I love lyrics. I love lyrics that like literally move the person, like when you literally feel elevated and like levitated and shit. I'm like, oh my God, take me.
It's so beautiful. And the vocals here, there's something so gentle about it and fragile, but like cozy and nostalgic too. Yeah. I ride for that choice.
Wow, what a fun game. That's it, right?
No. There's one more. The worst. This is always a tricky one.
Okay, worst is such a mean word because there's not a bad song on this record.
Least favorite.
Least favorite? Yes. Like one I would skip?
Yeah.
I'd probably have to go.
One.
Yeah, I'd go The Art of Loving intro. I think that's just such a gimme, though.
Yeah.
You're
kind of a gimme, but
you're kind of
it.
damned if you do, damned if you don't, though. Because it's like, oh, well, you could skip Art of Loving and then get right into Nice to Each Other and have a great old time. Randall, jam. But also, like, Art of Loving is only 40 seconds. Why would you skip it? Just let it play, It's like,
Yeah.
So, no, maybe I'm actually going to take that back.
I'm curious how you're going to...
I'm going to take that back.
Okay.
Art of Loving is not my least favorite. God damn it, Alex. This is fucking impossible, dude. I really don't know.
This to me is the easiest of the choices because choosing a favorite for me is near impossible, and the best I'm still torn between two.
Okay.
There's one song on this album that I skip.
Is it I've Seen It?
No, I love that. I think it's really gentle.
Okay. Well, which one do you skip?
Well, since I'm sure of it, I'll give you my skip/worst is Something in Between.
Yeah, I was just okay. That's
one
that's
that
so
I don't.
Crazy. That's so crazy you said that because I was literally just listening to that song, like trying to figure out the skips. Yeah. So why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Why
it's
don't
not
you,
that it's bad.
Yeah.
It's just when you're listening to each song on this album, I feel like every one of them has a very distinct personality to it, where that I can go to each one of these and get something out of it. And on my first listen, Something in Between was the only one where I got out of the moment of just, especially coming after Man I Need, it's so hard to bounce back from that, especially when that song is just so monumental that anything coming after the track list was going to be a tough sell. But it's also right before Loud, and Loud, like to me, it's just one of the more forgetful ones. There's going to be one on the album and it's literally in between. It's sandwiched between two heavy hitters and I just don't return to it. It's the only one on this album that I don't go back to.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, lyrically, she is kind of hinting at the same kind of concept a little bit as A Couple Minutes. Like, oh, is there still something left between us? Something is left unfinished. So I guess it like thematically feels good, but yeah, I can see that. That's crazy. That's actually my skip too. That's actually my least favorite as well. It's crazy. I have the same one.
Shockingly, it's not the least streamed song on the album.
Yeah, Close Up. I love Close Up, though.
I love Close Up. So
Close Up is...
Let me start. Go back. Best song on The Art of Loving. I am so unbelievably torn between, and it's going to sound cliche because they're the two singles, Nice to Each Other and Man I Need, but
Okay.
I think I want to go with Nice to Each Other because this is the song that kicked off the real like momentous train that she's been on this year. I vividly remember listening to this for the very first time and just melting and like knowing that this was going to be a song of the year for me. The way that her harmonies and the stacking come together on the second verse, the shout of "'cause I don't want a boyfriend," and then getting to hear that live and hear so many people chant that back with her is really powerful. The structure is really strong. The hooks are there. It's visual lyrics talking about how she doesn't know where the cutlery is. She doesn't know where anyone keeps anything in this place because they're distant and they're not so close to each other anymore, but they could be nice to each other. It could be that simple. We could just be nice to each other. And I love the simplicity and the coyness of it. And yeah, that to me is the best. And then worst, I would say, is something in between. Favorite is so hard because there's 3 songs that I have in constant rotation right now, and they just are in a loop. And the 3 of them are Loud, Couple Minutes, and Close Up. But for the sake of the conversation, and since you already highlighted a Couple Minutes, I'm going to go with Loud.
Yeah.
Because
Loud feels so damn good.
The way that it starts off, how it's just so stripped. It feels good. Yeah. It's like, wow, this is so immaculate.
It's almost that like realization for her that you never loved me loud. Like it was always the way you wanted it. And it's never the way that I wanted it. And then from that is baby steps in Couple Minutes. And I've seen it, and it's like, yeah, dude. It's almost like that, you know, it's not in the dead center of the album to be like a climax, but it's almost like that pinnacle point where she's like, actually, I am. I actually do deserve so much better than this.
Totally. And there are a few things about it that keep me coming back. One is the bookending lyrics of how she's talking about how in the beginning there's 4 hands on the piano. And then the very last line of the song is how there's only now 2 hands on the piano, showing that that person is no longer in the picture. I love that. And I told a story about how it came to be, that they recorded it like very early on in the process of creating The Art of Loving. And then as they were working on the rest of the album, they were finalizing the project. They were having the live orchestra in the studio with her to record their production on some of it. And then for fun, she was like, why don't we just perform Loud and hear it with the orchestra? Because she just wanted to hear what it would be like to have the full orchestra in the room with her performing it. And they used that take is what you hear on the album. And that's the one take.
That's incredible.
And I'm like, that makes it so powerful.
Like, that's just the way she's thinking. Like, she's literally thinking about what are the options? What are the choices that are at my disposal? How could it enhance the moment in there? That's such an important, like, skill as a musician and an artist, is to know, like, when to throw that in. Because to throw it in at every point because it's cool is like, okay, yeah, cool, yeah, fine. But then it's like, you kind of lose the moment. When you make everything a moment, it kind of becomes not a moment. I just did not get that at all for Olivia Dean. Like, there's always something instrumentally that is like sticking out in a great way that I can latch on to, whether it's a guitar lead or a piano chord or a drum rhythm or like a hum, literally. Like, that's kind of like an identity. Like you said, how every song feels like it has its identity. Like, every song really does on this record. And it goes back to her and producers and the sound choices.
Yeah. What I've been paying attention to this week, as it's December, as these best of lists are coming out, seeing where all of these songs and albums are being placed. What really stood out to me was when Pitchfork reviewed it originally, they gave it a 6.9. I think that's undervaluing the project personally. That to me feels a little low. I'm curious if you had a score, how would you put it?
So it's sitting on my OTY right now at a 9.2. Yeah. So that's my thoughts.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, we do out of 100. I had it as a 9.2. I think that ends up being like 4.5 stars out of 5 if you wanted to put it into a star rating. High.
I completely agree with that. Yeah. High. Exactly. I completely agree with you. I think that it's like a solid 4 stars feels too low for this. 4.5 feels right. It's not perfect. There are little things that I wish were slightly different, or a lyric that went a little more in a different direction, but like 4.5 out of 5 to me feels incredibly strong for this. Something that's been on my mind, and it's been more present as the year's gone on for me, is her rise to fame being steady over the last few years, coming from the UK, very powerful vocal. Her tone is timeless and it feels like it's lived a million lives, but it'll be around for the rest of our time. It reminds me very much of Adele. And I'm curious, in your eyes, and I can speak to where I'm at with it, if the absence of Adele right now, because she takes, 5+ years between her projects, had Adele been putting out a new project right now also, knowing where she was at with the last release with 30, knowing where we're at right now as a society, how do you feel like Olivia's rise to fame has benefited or not benefited from Adele's presence in the market?
Man, I'll be honest, I did not draw that line, but the fact that
that's actually very interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of, yeah. I mean, instrumentally, genre-wise, I guess I can kind of see a little bit of the like, contemporary pop feel. I feel like Olivia leans more R&B though than Adele. I feel like
Totally.
Adele is more like classical, almost like I put like Adele and like Hozier closer together than I would Adele and Olivia Dean in terms of like lyrically. Song structure wise. I mean, Adele definitely speaks a lot more lyrically to her lived experiences as a mom, as a divorced wife, own personal life hardships and stuff like that. All great stuff. All incredible, great work. The best in the field talk about all of that. I think the absence of Adele doesn't positively impact or negatively impact anybody other than Adele. Adele knows exactly the kind of songwriter that she is. Like that's from looking at the way that her discography has gone, she's not afraid to like take time. Like, sure, it could look like a strategy, every blank year we didn't get a new Adele album, but it's like, that's artists, that's painters, that's writers, that's everybody, everybody that wants to put out a body of something. Like, it takes time to do that. And that time is not a variable that you can really control. And if you do try to control it, it's going to affect the overall process. So I don't know. I think Olivia Dean is definitely bringing a little bit of that UK focus to like the American audience. I can only talk from American perspective, but like I love hearing her vibe over here because it's way more appealing than Alex Warren and Morgan Wallen. I'll take Olivia Dean 10 out of 10 times over those fuckers, In terms of like Adele, yeah. I mean, that's an interesting concept. Sure, it makes me feel like Adele is like a huge force in music, which I guess she is. Yeah,
she is. She is, and to give her that credit. But I think because I'm so, as a music listener, attracted to very specific tones and finding, I don't want to call them replacements for when someone is off cycle, but like a great example of this is Miley Cyrus, one of my favorite vocalists. I think she has such a rich tone and I always seek it out. And with that being said, when she was in an off period, I came across Leon, who, this was back in like 2017, 2018 when Miley was off cycle, and I found Leon and I'm like, their voices are not exactly the same, but they've scratched the same itch for me that I was obsessed with Leon in the absence of Miley, because it was more music that's felt to me similar enough that it gave me that same feeling that I loved about Miley's music. With
Are
Olivia,
you talking about Leon Bridges or Leon Thomas?
Just like Leon. She's
female
vocalist. Her song You and I Surround Me. She has a beautiful tone, but like I was thinking about it, that am I gravitating, or did I back in 2022, 2023 gravitate towards Olivia because it was in the absence of Adele and it's scratching a similar itch where they both have incredibly powerful tones. They offer very cathartic songwriting. They are both obviously British, coming from the UK, that they're both playing into sounds that feel incredibly timeless, that aren't rooted in a certain decade or genre necessarily. It's more of like mass appeal, heartfelt stories about love and heartbreak. And I don't think that they're the same artist by any means. And like you said, one taps way more into R&B than the other, but that's something that's been on my mind, is the bridge between them.
It definitely plays a part into people's, like, what they're listening to currently at the time. Like that's definitely a huge part of it. So yeah, right. I wonder what Adele's doing right now. Just hanging out, chilling,
living her best life, and
maybe
putting something out next year.
Festivals, maybe attending, not performing.
I feel like next year could be the return. Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned this earlier on in the conversation, and this can start wrapping us up. But looking ahead, 2026 into the future of Olivia Dean, other than a Christmas album, because I completely agree with you, that needs to happen at some point. It's like the easiest layup imaginable. Where do you see her going next? What do we want to have Olivia Dean put out for album number 3?
Okay, concept-wise, I want to leave it open. I would love to just add some suggestions, maybe instrumentally.
Take out the notepad.
And collaboratively. For one, we need a collaboration with Ray. It has to happen. It has to happen. Has to. Unforgivable.
They like knew each other. They went to the same school. Yeah, they went to the same school.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that has to happen. Anybody else? I'd love to see her work with Ariana. That would be fun too. Also, I think Amber Mark would be a really great collaborator.
I am so glad that you mentioned Amber Mark.
Yeah, Amber Mark's on it.
Amber Mark.
Yeah, I'm glad.
When I went to the Short and Sweet tour, the two of them were openers. It was Amber and Olivia, and I was honestly there more for the openers than I was for Sabrina.
No shade to Sabrina. No shade to Sabrina.
I was so in love. No shade to Sabrina at all. Granted, I didn't love Man's Best Friend, especially compared to Short and Sweet, but no shade. But like Amber Mark, her song Won't Cry, her song Cherry Reds off of the new album is like my second played most song of the last like month.
Wow.
I cannot get enough of it.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Very, very cool. Only one more collaboration, I would say, selfishly, would be Lizzie McAlpine, but that's just for me. That's just me personally. I feel like their vocals would be very good. I feel like the songwriting would be so emotional, I'd be crying for the entire year.
Yeah.
But instrumentally, flamenco guitar, I would love that. That tickles a little spot in my ear with the Olivia Dean vocal range and the kind of stuff that she's been cooking up. Also, there is bongos on this record. More bongos. I'd be down to hear some more bongos. And honestly, man, thematically wise, I feel like we gotta get something colorful. Black and white album, you gotta go colorful for the next one, right? Like you gotta like get a little bit of a color spread. So something bright, something maybe leafy green. Connect me to nature. Connect me to another like level. Like give me a POV I wouldn't have considered. That's truly what the only thing that I would ever want from any artist. Yeah. Something vibrant. Exactly. What about you? What do you want from Olivia Dean?
I completely agree with you.
Yeah?
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Pretty much exactly what you said. I think that her strong suit is her live performances. So bringing in more of these live instruments to help tell the story, the bongos, flamenco guitar, completely agree with you. I want like a salsa moment from her. I think would go over really well. Maybe even like if we're going the vibrant route or going more powerful and more evocative, I don't want to say go disco and go like basic disco, but something in the ABBA wheelhouse of like a Fernando or
so stepping
I think
up the
she could have
vocals
so
like
much fun with like a gimme type thing.
Okay, cool.
Something just to electrify the way that Man I Need does it, but Man I Need does it in more of a like casually cool way. Something that is very upfront in your face, like I'm going for this big moment, this big bombastic
Not
moment.
as nonchalant as the album has kind of been. The nonchalantness is cool, but now we know that Olivia Dean is a bad bitch. Like, let's get down.
She's cool,
right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That's
Give me something that I can like really go hard to.
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining.
Awesome. EDM Olivia Dean album.
Yeah, that'll go over well.
Get her and Skrillex in a room together.
My God, can you imagine? Get her on a remix of Gnarly by Cat's Eye.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
Or don't. Please don't.
Yeah,
please don't. Thank you for coming on. I'm so glad that we got to do this and to talk about this album of all projects. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely.
For anyone who is new to your world, feel free to plug yourself where anyone can find you if they want more Troy content.
Sure. Why not? Go ahead and follow your boy over at HTHAZE, HTHAZE. Everywhere, every social media. Unfortunately, I am chronically online. So fair warning if you see me over there. We get a little unhinged. So that's on
fun.
you.
That's what makes it engaging. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks, man. Really appreciate you coming on. For anyone else who's new to the podcast, make sure you are liking and subscribing live from Mars, wherever you're getting your podcast. It means the world to me. I will see you all next time for yet another top 3 album of 2025 deep dive. But until then, have a good one, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.